Now we are finally ready to start reorganizing our Nazi army. Now, the way I normally organize my armies is I like to have each corps made out of 3 divisions. Now, each division in itself, let me just get the basics out here first, is made out of 3 to 5 regiments. You can get up to 5 regiments once you research your technology later in the game. But right now they're made up of 3 to 4 regiments. And each division can have an HQ, which is called a corps. And a corps can have from 3 to 5 divisions inside of itself. And on top of a corps, you can have an army. And an army can have lots of corps in it as well. Because this is actually an army group leader, not an army leader, it can have lots and lots of corps. But typically it goes up by 5, so a corps commander can have up to 5 divisions. An army commander can have up to 5 corps. An army group commander can have up to 5 armies. Now I like to work my corps in 3s, because that was the way the 2nd SS Panzer Corps was formed. The Totenkopf, the Das Reich, and the Leibstandard. So what I'm going to do quickly now, while you watch me, is reorganize my entire army, which should not hopefully take too long, but I'll get it done anyway. The first one I'll do is I'll reorganize OBW West. Now, I'm going to reorganize my troops along the border, that way I know which troops I've organized and which ones I've not. So I'll speed this up just a slight tad. Get the game moving a little bit, get some stuff rolling. Alright, I'll start with the 5th Army Corps under Von Kleist. This one already has only 3 divisions, so I'll quickly send him down to start up with the French border. I'll go back to OBW West, and I'll just keep doing this again and again to reorganize my armies. Now, I know the Germans in this game start out with 3 Panzer divisions, so I'm going to make a Panzer Corps out of that once I find them. See, this division, or this Corps, has 5 divisions in it, and that's too big for me, because in this game, if you have too many divisions on one square attacking, you can have a stacking penalty, so I try to stick with 3 for the most part. That's why I do. So I'm going to quickly just get rid of these guys out of the Corps for now. And I have an option right now, a national decision. I can reoccupy the Rhineland, which was an area plan taken from the Germans after the Treaty of Versailles when they lost World War I. And the benefits of doing this is I lose my descent, I gain money and manpower and unity, but I piss all the West off if I do that. But I'm going to do it anyway because I'm like Hitler, so let's gain some manpower. And I'm sure you guys can pause this and read this, but quickly read a little bit about it. Once the home front was secured, Hitler turned his attention to foreign policy with 4 increasingly daring acts. On the 16th of March, 1935, the Treaty of Versailles was violated by Germany, and you can read the rest. And I'm going to continue to reorganize my army until my border is fit as I see it. Now, here's one of the Panzer divisions to start out with Germany. They have a lot of experience, which is really nice because the more experience you have, the better they fight. And I believe the one I just took out of only had 3 divisions. Did it have 4? I guess I did. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought it only had 3 divisions in it, so if I would have taken a Panzer division out, I would have had to replace it with an infantry division to keep my standard of 3 combined. But my standard of 3 only goes for corps. Divisions in a corps. I can have 5 corps in an army, I don't really care. One, two, three, four, 5. This one has 3 as well, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just keep stacking up the border with all of my potential enemies until my borders are completely secure. Now, I don't normally use my ships and planes all that often unless I'm being bombed, so I don't like having them attached to my HQs that control my land forces because it's really annoying just to have them in the same command line. So I always go through here and I detach them from the army command. And then once all these guys are over there, you can see how all 7 cores are connected to the army commander, or army group commander, as it is right now. And then if this core had divisions all spread out, you could see it's like a spider web of forces connected to each other. As you can probably already start to see, the Germans do not start with a whole ton of troops because the Treaty of Versailles did not allow the Germans to have above 100,000 people in their army. So it is very important for me to recreate the army as I see fit immediately, that way I don't fall behind other nations such as Russia, because it would definitely not be good to have a communist world. Now, I'm going to try to quickly finish my western border as much as I can before I have to deploy new troops. So I'll relocate everybody over to the west before I redistribute them. As you can see, here's the 1 Panzer Division. Oh, here's another one. I'll quick get rid of him out of there before it's too late, or before I have to find him later. And everybody is strategically redeploying. If you control right click, you can strategically redeploy them, which would like theoretically put them on trains, which makes them move faster. If you just right click, they just walk there, which can take a very long time unless they're motorized troops. And right now it says there's more efficient laws that can be enacted, which the computer doesn't really know what it's talking about. Because the lower I have this, it affects my manpower. But if I have this really low, my reserves are really, really cheap, and I can make tons and tons and tons of them for nothing. And then just man them up later before the war. Drinking my favorite Nazi juice. Alright. The other one is mixed industry, which is under industrial policy. So right now it's a consumer education orientation, which is fine right now because we're in peacetime. You can see how it affects us daily change by -20%, which is actually good because we don't have to spend as much on consumer goods right now. So I'll keep it as it is until we get closer to a war. So actually all my laws are fine right now because I don't want this to start affecting my production at all. So we will just wait for the troops to redeploy to the west and let me place them where they need to go. As you can see, the French already have all their little pansies on the border. And I guess while we wait for the troops to move, I can quick talk a little bit about terrain, or the land forts. Historically, the French had a defensive line they built from northern France to southern France here, called the Maginot Line, and had a series of concrete fortifications because they did not want the Germans to break through their lines ever again. So they spent tons and tons of money building all these fortifications. But it was all for naught when the Germans launched Operation Gelb. I will show you what it looks like once I add it to my operations. Now, oops, there we go. The Germans knew that the French really had this strong defensive line and didn't feel like losing unnecessary lives. So General von Manstein and Hitler decided that it would be a good idea to repeat the Siegfried plan from World War I. And they massed all their panzers and attacked through the Ardennes here, which was completely unexpected by the English and by the French. And within a couple of days, they were swooping into France and just capturing tons and tons of French people. And, you know, the Low Countries are just screwed to begin with, but they come in here and they screw everybody over, and then they capture the French. And it looked like it was game over for England too at that time. but they were able to escape from Dunkirk over here and go back to Britain and hide in a little island until the Americans came to save them. And I will hide the battle plan for now because I probably won't use it. Well, I'll use the plan, but modify it to how I like to use it. Alright, my troops are back. Here's my other 3rd Panzer Division, which I can quick send over to meet up with everybody else. This one has a SS unit in, which I really like the SS, so we'll just send them up closer to the Netherlands border so they can actually get some decent fighting in without fighting just through slugging matches. That's never fun. So we will deploy everybody north for now, and then the new troops I make can fill in the rest of the line. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Yes, I can count in Spanish till I can too, so it's all good.